We're in Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another wild and wacky edition of our baseball coverage here on The Spread. I am your host, Jim Sella, in studio with JDash, senior baseball analyst, Big Easy, senior college analyst, JK47, senior I will shoot you in your face if you bleep me off analyst.
That's pushing it there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that bad.
Maybe pistol whip.
Yeah, pistol whip will work. It's not attempted murder.
All right, well, if you shoot him below the waist, you avoid the attempted murder charge.
That's right.
Write that down.
Knows the law.
Unless you hit a main artery and kill him, then you're going down for murder.
Those damn arteries in your leg. Well, let's move on to some NL third basemen before we all get ourselves arrested.
All right, we're going to start with number 15. Like he said, NL third baseman. We're going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies, a terrible team. They have pretty much a bad third baseman, Cody Asche. He's going to be turning 25 during the season. His on-base percentage was just .309 last year, .252 average. He has a little bit of pop, hit 10 home runs and 397 at-bats. But really, this guy's going to be a career .250 hitter at best.
It's a ranking of the top 15 third basemen in the National League, so someone has to be last. Cody Asche, that's you. At 14, we got Juan Uribe. He's a solid major leaguer, ain't he, Jeff? You know him.
I mean, he's always been a contributing veteran. You know, he's had a couple of down years, you know, throughout his tenure in L.A. I mean, he's hit under 250 rather in 6 of his last 9. And, you know, I mean, of course, the at-bats just haven't been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's never going to be able to play a full season, get 500 at-bats. He is still good on the defensive side, though, even though he is 35. He was a Gold Glove candidate last season. And really, with the bat last season, was one of his better years in recent history. He hit .311, had 9 home runs and 386 at-bats. I mean, that's not terrible.
Yeah, but the Dodgers are trying to replace him. They got some Cubans down. They got some Cubans coming across the border or something. So,
Defecting.
Yes, so Juan Uribe is 14. At 13, we have Kris Johnson for the Atlanta Braves. He's going to be 30 years old. Last year, he hit .263, .292 on base percentage, 10 pops, 58 RBIs. That ain't too bad.
The thing that's got to worry you, Easy, is the 159 strikeouts and 582 at-bats.
Yeah.
With a .283 career average, though, that's not too shabby.
He's already played, he's played for 3 teams already in his career. Granted, and the teams that aren't really top echelon of baseball either.
Is it just me, or does it seem like baseball players move around more than in other sports? Maybe hockey players do also. But football, you don't see a whole lot of trades. You get your rare free agency signings, so 1-2 teams.
Football, they say football's a cap.
Yeah.
Or something. No, but you would think...
Baseball, you have a longer career, too, I guess, than most other sports.
Well,
you could be out of shape and still be a baseball player that plays ball. Look at David Ortiz.
Yeah. Well, getting back to this list, Kris Johnson, his RBIs have been down.
Well, listen, in 2013, though, he hit .321 with a .358 on base percentage and 514 at-bats. That's pretty good, but really, that has to be an outlier season for him.
One-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Kind of like our boy at number 7.
You're dead wrong.
We ain't getting there yet.
Number 12, an ex-Pirate, Casey McGehee. He's 32 now. He's playing for the Giants this year, first year with them. He hit .287 with a .355 on-base percentage last season with the Marlins. He had no power, though, which he was expected to have some, because if you go back and look, in 2013 in Japan, he played in Japan, okay? But he did hit .292 and had 28 jacks, so the Marlins thought they were getting a little bit more power out of him.
Aren't their fences shorter over there because they're shorter? So it's a little bit easier to hit a home run, right?
I don't think it works
Well,
like that.
what are the Giants doing here picking up Casey McGehee? Like, what? There's no one else there?
They're retooling.
I don't understand.
They
They don't have to retool. They're the freaking champions.
I think it's a stopgap solution. You know, I mean, he's a veteran. He's going to give you at-bats. He's going to play steady defense. But, I mean, he's definitely got a little... I mean, he's a steady veteran that'll give you quality play at top of your lineup. I mean, you look at the way he hits now. He's shortened up his swing a little bit. He's actually hitting for a lot less power these days. But, I mean, but at the same time, you know, his on-base percentage is up, batting average up, still drives and runs.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Easy, the Giants just lost Pablo Sandoval to the Red Sox, so they needed to bring someone in. You can't just go out there and find the best third baseman right away. So Casey McGehee was the answer. Look, he had 67 walks and 616 at-bats. That's pretty decent. But he had a crazy career. Look at this. In 2008, he played 9 games with the Cubs. Then 2009 to 2011, he hit 52 jacks with the Brewers, including 104 RBIs in 2011. Then in 2012, he hit 230 in 92 games with the Pirates and 151 in 22 games with the Yankees, so he was garbage. And then in 2013, he goes to Japan, rakes, hits 292 with 28 jacks, 93 RBIs. Comes over to the Marlins in 2014. They're thinking got a little bit of power.
Right.
No, he has no power, but his walk rate is way up. He has a good K rate, and he has 4 of his 6 career stolen bases. So what's he going to do with the Giants this season? His career's so out of whack, up and down. Who knows?
Okay, so you almost be able he should be a little bit higher on this list if you ask me now, because I'm thinking Casey McGehee is the wild card.
Well, listen,
he's Charlie. He's the wild card.
He's a career 264 hitter with a 324 on base. But last year, that 355 on base percentage, I don't know what he was doing in Japan. He might have got Japanese LASIK eye surgery and he's pinpointed like a robot now or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, natural LASIK.
I'll tell you what, this player at 11 here has got a robot name, Yangervis
Solarte.
I wasn't even going to try on that one.
This guy's an interesting player, JDash. You know, the 10 home runs.
Yeah.
You know, shows a little bit of pop, 53 at bat, or 53 walks rather. You know, I mean, shows some plate discipline. You know, and not a bad K rate either.
Very good plate discipline. The 53 walks is nice, but the 58 K and 469 at bats, that's putting the bat on the ball often. And look, this last season was his rookie year. I know he's going to be turning 28 this season, but he hit 260 in his rookie season with a 336 on base. So he looks like he's going to be a decent third baseman for the Padres this season. And just in case he's not, if something happens where last year was a little bit of a fluke, they brought Will Middlebrooks over.
Yeah, what do you think about Will Middlebrooks?
What do I think about Will Middlebrooks?
He's a middling infielder.
I mean, it seems so.
Well, listen, he has tons of power. The problem is
Little plate discipline.
he can't put the bat on the ball. He could hit 30 home runs if he can just
He's not going
So
to
he's Pedro Serrano at the beginning of the first Major League movie. He needs Joe Boo's help.
Cannot hit curveball.
I doubt it.
Straight ball, he hits it very much.
Break it down, top 10.
All right, starting at number 10, we're going to go with a seasoned vet, Martin Prado. He's 31. He's going with the Marlins this year. He hit 282 last season with a 321 on base, 12 jacks, 58 RBI, 62 runs. He has a great K rate. Those numbers were pretty much on pace with his career, a little bit higher. He hits around 291 with a 340 on base. But he's getting a little bit older now. But he's a very consistent player. He usually hits double digits in home runs.
Well, he's definitely a solid baseball player. And I'll tell you what, too. I mean, those 62 runs, you know, you got to look for them to go up, you know, with that greatly improved Marlins lineup.
Yeah, I'm liking their team this season.
I am, too. Very pumped up about Fernandez coming back. So, I mean,
Yeah, I can't wait. He's on my fantasy team.
Number 9, seasoned veteran, Aramis Ramirez with that hated Milwaukee Brewers.
I love Ramirez.
He's like a wannabe Jeter.
I don't know.
He's like a Jeter of he's like the Brewers Jeter.
The thing is, Ramirez is how healthy is he going to be, you know, and the fact of the matter is also he's been known to take some days off.
And he's 36 now, so expect more days off.
But I'll tell you what, though, I mean, he's been a consistent batsmith his entire career.
Well, just look at last year. He hit 285. You look at his career number, 285. So really the bat hasn't dropped much. The power, yes, a little bit. You're not going to get the 30 home runs he used to hit. I mean, really, he was considered one of the best hitting third basemen in all of baseball for a long time, along with David Wright.
Yeah, should we know he's an ex-Bucco?
Yeah, another
Buckos
ex-Bucco.
gave up on him. They said you're garbage.
They didn't
Shipped
trade
him
him.
off.
I mean, we got an awesome deal on that trade. Who'd we get? Bobby Hill. Who the hell's
Nobody.
Bobby Hill?
Well, listen, Ramirez had pretty much just one big season with Milwaukee so far, and that was in 2012 when he had 27 jacks and 105 RBI.
Well, his best days are definitely back in Chicago.
The Ramirez trade was a lot like the Yager trade. We gave up somebody good and got nothing.
So, just real quick, who's going to have a better year? Casey McGehee or Aramis Ramirez?
I'm going Ramirez.
To the list, you're saying Ramirez. But
I have to say Ramirez on that front.
Oh,
I mean,
really? Why?
Well, McGee's going to drive in runs, but I'll tell you what, those 4 home runs, how much are they going to go up in San Francisco? Let's be realistic.
Okay, we'll keep it just... Well,
McGehee does... Well,
tell
not that
people
Ramirez
to
has
keep
to
an eye
carry
on
his
that.
team, but Ramirez has to be a bigger piece of his team than McGehee does. McGee's got more good players around him.
let's see what happens off the bat here. If Aramis Ramirez or Casey McGehee, let's see how they stack up with their baseball teams.
Let me ask you this. Who has a better chance of getting hurt?
I don't know. No, I don't think the dude at number 8 is going to get hurt too much. Who's that, Jeff?
Yasmany Tomas-D'Backs.
Cuban defector.
Brought in from Cuba.
Listen, this is his rookie season. He's only 24 years old. He's 6'1", 229 pounds. He's supposed to be a good hitter. If he can't handle third base, he may end up in right field. They have pretty good prospects in the minors, too. They got Jake Lamb. He might end up playing with the club as a backup, but I expect that dude. He has a ton of power, so I expect him to be a pretty decent baseball player. Then they also have another third baseman I like in the minors named Brandon Drury, and he looks like a guy that can hit for power and average, and I'm actually thinking about picking him up in my fantasy league. But
Keepers.
He was definitely brought in for his bat, no question about it. You know, I mean, somebody needs to provide some protection to Goldschmidt down there.
Well, listen, Tomas signed a 6-year, $68.5 million deal, and he's never played outside of Cuba. So his Cuban numbers are nice, though. He hit 289 with a 345 on base percentage and 43 jacks and 908 at bats in Series Nacionales in Cuba.
I'll tell you what, that 160 RBIs eye-popping.
Yeah, that's 908 at bats. It's not one season.
That's
But
like
listen,
us
this guy
playing
is supposed to be a
softball.
pretty good power hitter. I'm guessing he's going to be around a 260 hitter to start his career. He's still young, so he can grow into being a better hitter. But I think this guy has a chance to be a 20 to 25 home run guy, and later in his career, maybe 280s, 290. At number 7, Jim Sella's favorite player in baseball, Josh Harrison.
One of the most overrated players in Pirate history.
But
come on, don't be shy.
Listen,
You founded the Josh Harrison fan club.
why don't you like Josh Harrison?
I just think he's overrated. He's only had
Overrated?
He's had one good year in his career.
I would
One good
say
year.
Josh Harrison is never rated. Because, dude, just... What do you mean?
Everybody in Pittsburgh
You're not.
thinks
You
he's
have to be rated.
He's God's gift to third baseman. He's an
Listen,
average.
I'll tell
third
You
what,
first
baseman.
have to be rated. You have to be rated to be overrated. He was never rated. Now we'll see what he does this year.
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be a wait-and-see approach on Josh Harrison, you know? I mean,
There ain't waiting and seeing about nothing.
Let's face it.
He's been playing hard since he came here day one.
He's 28 now.
He's gonna
That's
keep
I never
playing
said he
hard.
didn't play hard.
that's
That doesn't
right
mean
in
you're
the
gonna
middle
play
of your
good.
prime. 28,
Playing hard means playing good in baseball.
28 is right in the
Well,
middle
then
of your
everybody
prime.
who plays hard would be a good baseball player.
Nobody plays as hard as he does.
Just, I'm not saying he doesn't play hard, but just because you try hard doesn't mean you're good at something.
Well, how about a
Okay,
315
playing hard-
batting average?
playing
Is
hard
that good
makes
at
you
something?
He had a good year. I didn't say he didn't. He
Playing
had
hard
one
makes you
good
better.
year.
It's as simple as
well, he
that.
definitely was an important
These
cog in
millionaire
that
athletes-
Pittsburgh drive to the playoffs.
You know how much money these baseball players are making, Sella? They make so much more money than any other athlete in sports.
Okay, listen, he has double-digit pop. There's no question about that. And he has double-digit stolen base potential. There's no question about that. Okay, you're right. He's probably not going to hit 315. Now let's look at his career average, 282. That doesn't look too bad either. Would you take a 282 average from him this season?
Listen, where'd you ask me? You asked me where he would be in the ranking, right?
Yeah, and you said 11.
I said 11 because I don't think he's top 10 talent yet. What has he proven?
Right.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm not gonna say he's overrated because, like I said, he hasn't been rated yet. But I didn't think he was top 10 yet. Like if you ask me, Ramirez
Okay.
is better than Harrison.
All right,
now.
let's say we
easily.
Let's say we throw him ahead of him.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And Tomas. You could have.
Well,
I mean, so and
I
you
can
could have
understand
put him at
Ramirez.
10 easily.
I can
Tomas
understand- not
never
Tomas,
even
yeah, Tomas.
played yet.
I know. Well, I'll take Cuba over Harrison right now.
I wouldn't.
My kind of guy there.
I will. I'll take young
I'm
Cuba
a little
over
bit
Harrison.
iffy, but I mean it's.
That's his new nickname.
I think your
Young
line on
Cuba.
Harrison
You
this
should
year is
coin
probably
that
around
easy.
the 280 batting average, 10 home runs, maybe gets like 60 RBI. I think we're gonna get the medium of a evolving player.
Yeah,
and
he's
what
going to fall
happened this
back
year.
down to his career numbers, which it really isn't that bad. When he plays a full season, he can hit double-digit home runs, still double-digit bases. If he hits 280, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And he's a good defender. He's a spark plug.
He's my favorite Pirate.
But listen, even if you put Tomas and Ramirez ahead of him, he's
Yeah.
still a top 10 third baseman. In the National League, obviously.
In the National League.
All right, number 6, I put a guy ahead of him that's never even played in the majors, so at least you got that easy.
Yeah, well, no, not me, him.
Well, you were just complaining that
No.
Tomas should be ahead of him, and I was saying he shouldn't.
Because I'm not trying to yins. I'm trying to un-yins.
Right. Well, listen, number 6, Kris Bryant. He's pretty much the number 1 prospect on everybody's board. I would have him at number 2 or 3. You see him in the top 5 everywhere at least. He's playing for the Cubs. He's only 23 years old. He hasn't played in the pros yet, but he had 52 home runs and 620 at-bats in the minors. He hit for 327 batting average, 428 on-base percentage. This guy is pretty much one of the can't-miss prospects in baseball. The only problem is, look how many Ks he had in those 620 at-bats.
197.
Yeah, a ton.
Alarming. He's a big time power prospect, though. I mean, I don't think he'll be in the minor leagues very long this year.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I actually ranked him on the list instead of just going with Alcantara or Tommy La Stella. Even though I like both of those players, especially Tommy La Stella. He has excellent plate discipline. He just has no power or speed, so he's just like a average guy.
When you said El Contra, I thought you meant The Contra, just talking about the Spanish version of one of the best Super Nintendo games ever.
Please believe. I'll smoke that game.
All right, next up at number 5, Cardinals third baseman, Matt Carpenter. Here's a guy, JDash. 375 on base percentage, 8 home runs, 59 RBI. You know, he has a little bit of pop, scores runs, gets on base.
Yeah, not huge pop, just 8 home runs last year, 595 at-bats. He doesn't have much speed, but he's just one of those smart players. He knows how to get on base. Look at his walk rate, 95 walks and 595 at-bats. You can't beat that, and 111 Ks is good too. But you're right, he does have some pop. You go back to the 2014 playoffs, he had 4 home runs in something like 36 at-bats, I believe it was.
He's only 29 years old?
Yeah.
I thought that dude was 40.
Actually,
I'm serious. I hate him, and I thought he was 40 years old.
Well,
I hate Matt Carpenter.
He was just a rookie a couple years ago, actually.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now that I know he's only 29 years old, now that I know I'm older than Matt Carpenter, I'm gonna watch him and maybe respect him. I thought he was old for the Cardinals, and I just hated on him because of that.
Aramis,
He's the one that don't wear batting gloves, right? Doesn't he just squat up at the plate with no gloves on?
I believe so.
That's
Yeah.
old
I'm
school.
telling you, dude. I hated him for that.
This is the kind of baseball.
I didn't wear double gloves. When I play baseball, I only wear one glove.
I wore one on my left hand.
Left-handed glove. What
I
did you
didn't wear
do?
them
Did you
at
wear?
all.
You wore 2 gloves, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I went 1 glove.
See, I didn't like hitting with 2 gloves.
I never hit with 2 gloves, but still, he with no gloves. I hated on him for that. But I didn't know. I thought he was old.
Even a lot of the times on hot days, I wouldn't even use a batting glove though. Like
No, I see. That you got to use gloves. You got to use a batting glove.
Well, listen.
I'll drop him to 9 right now because you got to wear batting gloves, dude.
it was 50-50 for me. If I wanted to wear it, I did.
Shut up, dude. You had a batting glove
I
on.
did have a batting glove. I'm not saying I never used
All
them.
right, well, whatever. Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, I
with
want to
his
get back to
stupid
Matt
hands.
Carpenter,
Whatever.
please. Screw your batting gloves.
But these are the top. These are the reasons that
Well,
matter.
listen, Matt Carpenter is the type of baseball player I like. These are my favorite type of players. Guys who just know how to get on base. They don't have the big power. They're just smart players. They're good on the field. They do everything you ask them to do.
You and Matt Carpenter have a lot in common.
And LeGarrette Blunt.
Matt Carpenter. Isn't
Yeah.
it Jeff King I have something in common with?
Jeff King's the man. You better not have anything in common with him. Then I'd actually have to like you.
He quit when he hit his pension or whatever.
Yeah, well, he's awesome. He was tenured. That's what he got. Once he got his
Yeah.
tenure, he just rolled
That's it.
out.
All I know is I like Matt Carpenter at 5. This ranking, this top 15 ranking is looking good to me right now because we got only 4 players left and they look like they're falling in line.
Number 4, go ahead, JK47.
Bang, bang.
David Wright of the Mets.
Please
It's
believe.
the guy,
I don't think you like this ranking,
you were
though.
contemplating.
Well, I mean, I
You didn't
was
like it?
contemplating. I mean, at 32, you got to wonder for a rebound season.
And he's been injured a little bit the past few years.
Yeah, banged up a little bit. I mean, he's a guy I've always thought was a solid baseball player. I mean, he definitely still is. But, I mean, physically, how you going to recover from injuries? And it's always been tough to hit at Citi Field, you know. It's always been an on-off thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's hit double-digit home runs in each of the first 10 years of his career. He's had double-digit stolen bases every season, but as a rookie and last year, and really last year was the worst season of his career. And the reason I have him at number 4 is I believe he's going to bounce back from that. From what I'm reading, he's healthy. And look at his career numbers. He's a .298 hitter with a .377 on-base percentage, pop and speed. But, of course, the speed isn't going to be there much anymore.
No, definitely not. I mean, there's no question the guy can hit. It's just how much can he be on the field?
At 32 years old, he's easily the best defender at third base. He's
I would disagree with you on that.
Why?
You mean
Who's
out of
better?
all these players, he's the best?
Yay!
Or
He-
number
he's-
2 guy?
Nah.
We'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
No, we won't get to him in a couple minutes. I'm going to say right now David Wright is the number 1. He's a first-rate defender at third base.
Oh, without question, he's a great defender.
He's
All
actually...
right, he's number
Glover.
1. He's the best defensive third baseman
Did
still
he
to
win
this
the
day.
Gold Glove?
I disagree.
I just
He's
disagree.
actually... He
All right,
had a
so
good
what-
many
so
years last
he's
year.
number 2 then. You're saying there's better
His
defenders? than
defense is getting worse with his old age.
No, I'm going to say his defense will be stronger than his offense this year.
I hope you're wrong, because I have him in fantasy.
Well,
And I don't give a crap about errors.
They are a key contributor to a team imploding.
All right, let's move on to number 3. Cincinnati Reds, Todd Frazier. He's 29 this season. He had a .273 average last year, .336 on-base percentage. It was really a career year for him, though. He had 29 home runs, 80 RBIs, 88 runs. His walk rate was pretty good. He didn't K too much. It was a little high, but you expect that from a power hitter. But the biggest surprise was 20 stolen bases.
Yeah, he definitely showed some speed last year. I mean, in the 29 home runs, I mean, I didn't know if I saw that coming.
Yeah, I don't expect him to stay up around 29 home runs either. If you go back and look at 2012 and 2013, he hit 19 each of those years. And he's already 29, so it's not like he's still maturing into something else.
I mean, the guy does have legit power, and it is a hitter-friendly stadium
You're right.
down there.
29 just seems like a lot to me.
And
Because, first of all, he's not a .273 hitter either.
Todd Frazier's garbage.
well, I mean, it was yeah.
Excellent analysis, easy.
I hate him.
Well, listen,
Carpenter's better
if
than
you go
Frazier.
back and look at last season, like I was saying, it was a breakout season. But he hit .291 in May and .316 in June with 13 home runs combined in those 2 months, which is huge. But then the other, 4 months of the season, he pretty much hit around his .258 career average, and the home runs weren't as high. So really, I'm thinking he's more of that 19 to 24, 25 home run kind of guy and a .250, .260 hitter. But it's still good enough. I mean, he gets it done. And he's a pretty decent third baseman. And he filled in for Joey Votto last season at first base, too. So he's a little flexible where he can play.
Well, I think a lot of his numbers, too, depend on who's available in that Reds lineup. I mean, they still prac a pretty
Billy
good...
Hamilton's a beast.
They still got a pretty good punch down there in Cincinnati. I mean, their pitching staff's a little bit depleted right now.
They lost Latos.
Yeah, but
Homer
I mean,
Bailey's going to have a bounce back year, though.
But I'll tell you what,
Christian
though.
Bale.
I mean,
Yeah.
Votto, Bruce, healthy. Frazier, Mesoraco. I mean,
I
Brandon
believe
Phillips.
Votto's going to have a big season, too.
Homer Bailey should quit baseball and become Bale's stunt double.
He should change his last name to Simpson.
He'd probably make more money.
Probably.
You're dead wrong. If he was the star actor, he would, but not as a stuntman.
Stuntmen make mad loot, homie.
Not more than good starting pitcher ace pitcher, I guess.
You gotta be a good stuntman. Be that ace go-to stuntman. Bale does a lot of action movies. He does another Batman. Boom!
All right, let's move on to number 2.
Number 2, this guy, easy, is the best defensive third baseman.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado.
I'm surprised you put a Colorado Rocky player this high on a list.
Well, listen.
This is an up-and-coming guy. This guy's going to be a legit superstar.
Injuries.
I believe so, too.
Injuries, huh?
Yeah, he was injured last season for a while.
Only 24
He gets a
with
little
injuries already.
He gets a little bit dinged up, but I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I'm loving the increase in the average, home runs, RBI.
Yeah.
Basically improved on every offensive category last year over his rookie season, which he also won a Gold Glove as well.
Yeah.
Look, the 18 home runs and 432 at-bats, even if it has to do with playing in Colorado, that power, who cares? He's still playing in Colorado, so the power should still be there. And then you look, he has 58 Ks and 432 at-bats. He's young. He didn't even turn 24 yet. He's 23 right now. With that K rate, that power, and him still being able to grow into some more power, this guy can be a beast. And let's not forget the fact he won 2 Gold Gloves in a row his first 2 seasons in the majors.
He definitely has some room to grow from last season, and I'll tell you what, realistically, I mean, you're looking at a 25 home run, 85 RBI guy in the middle of your lineup, you know, complimenting Cargo and Tulowitzki.
His walk rate, a little low, but like we said, he's just 23, so he can fix that throughout his career. Let's move on to number 1. This guy is a monster. Anthony Rendon. He's going to turn 25 this year. Again, Nationals up top of the board. Their team's going to be beast this season, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's almost going to be unfair.
Unless they trade a pitcher. Please trade someone.
I mean, but Rendon's a guy who completely came into his own last year. He was very consistent down there in a very inconsistent Washington Nationals lineup. You know, 287 average, 21 home runs, 83 RBIs. You know, you got to like the 17 stolen bases too, JDash.
Yeah, that's more of him being young rather than him just being fast. But for the next few years, you should be able to see him stay up around 15 stolen bases, I think, until he gets it in his 30s. And he's always been, throughout the minors, he's always been able to take a walk. His K rate has always been low.
K rate.
This guy is the future at third base. Remember, David Wright used to be the face of third base in the National League for so long.
Yeah.
Well, that is now going to be Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
People need to start learning how to steal bases more often.
He's
It's a lost art.
He's a legitimate 320 home run guy.
Well, dude, baseball's heading back towards that direction. That's why games take so long, because of all the freaking
They
pitching
just
changes.
changed new rules.
Rules.
If they want to do that, they should eliminate the need of strategic pitchers.
Don't tread on
Yeah,
me.
you know how much time that'll save? You know, the pitcher has to come out, you know, he has to run in through the outfield, then he has to warm up.
Well, why don't they just teleport?
That would get a helicopter ride. That'd be neat, huh? Not
They-
very-
the-
not very
They should
fast.
just
The
pop
mascot
up out
should-
of the ground. The
No.
mound should open up, and the pitcher should just pop up in the air. You like kind of
No.
fly up, it closes.
He
you
should
land,
jump on the back of a
start
quad
chucking
with a
it.
mascot. You know, the team mascot
gotta-
should fucking drive by.
You gotta survive the ride. If you can survive the ride to the mound, you get
Yeah.
warm-up pitches. If you fall off, you don't get any warm-up pitches. That's how it should go.
Yeah.
Put like a little jump right before you get there.
You got and someone's
they-
shooting hot dogs at you.
What if they pull them on a
with
sled?
cannon, hot
You're
dog
on a
cannon.
sled tied to the
No,
quad.
no, you can't do the sled on the grass. That'll scruff up the outfield.
And the tires on the quad's not going
Hey,
to.
that was a good ranking, but let me just break it down. Here's who I don't like. I don't like
7.
Frazier above Matt Carpenter, and Harrison. We don't want to yins, so that's questionable. That's about it.
I don't
for me.
believe. I think the biggest problem you have with Harrison is Aramis Ramirez blown, correct? Because it can't be
Well-
Tomas, a guy who never played yet.
I don't know. I'll put young talent over Harrison maybe right now, because maybe he's due to break out and have a Harrison year.
Brother.
Well, he has more power than Harrison, I'll give you that, but I don't think he's quite as good of a hitter.
Well, young Cuba's he's here for a reason.
He's
the
good, don't get me
Jay-Z
wrong. I
of
have him at
third
number
base.
8 without ever playing one inning.
Did you guys see Jay-Z called David Wells Kurt Schilling? At the SNL after party, he started asking David Wells about the bloody sock because he thought he was Curt Schilling.
That's cool.
Jay-Z rocks a Yankees hat. Every time you see Jay-Z, he's wearing a Yankees hat. He don't even know who David Wells is. I don't even watch baseball, and I know who David Wells is. Come on, man.
Wells, this segment is over.
Yeah.
Wrap it.
Thank you, fans, for listening. I want to thank you guys for coming in. Everybody, if you enjoy it, follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Like us on Facebook. Like us on YouTube. If you don't, do it anyway.
You hate, we debate.
Spread them.